cowboys, scouts, and soldiers erased from Hollywood's frame. The American West, vast and untamed, stretches beneath a sky of endless possibility. We see the rugged landscapes of mesas and prairies, hear the whistle of the wind through sagebrush, and feel the pulse of a land in transformation. But the stories we tell too often leave out the black men who shaped this epoch. These were not just bystanders to history, they were its architects and guardians. From the dusty trails to the battlefields, from the cattle drives to the forts guarding frontier towns, black soldiers and cowboys carved their place in the harsh, beautiful wilderness. Their courage and resilience stand as a testament to a complex America, a nation wrestling with its contradictions, where freedom was fought for not just in distant wars, but on the soil of the West itself. Photographs, letters, and diaries offer glimpses into the daily lives of black soldiers and cowboys, moments of camaraderie, hardship, and resilience. In sepia tones, we see faces weathered by sun and wind, eyes reflecting determination and hope. These images speak across time, challenging us to see beyond stereotypes and acknowledge the humanity of these frontier pioneers. Their laughter, grief, and dreams echo in the canyons and plains, reminding us that history is never a single story, but a mosaic of many voices. Today, descendants of buffalo soldiers and black cowboys continue to celebrate their heritage, preserving traditions and educating new generations. Museums, reenactments, and scholarship illuminate their contributions, filling gaps in the American narrative. This resurgence is a roots renaissance, a reclaiming of history that had been obscured by neglect and prejudice. It invites us all to reckon with the past honestly and to recognize the profound impact of these men and women on the land and culture of the West. As the sun sets over the western horizon, the shadows lengthen but do not erase the legacy of black soldiers and cowboys. Their stories endure in the very soil they once tamed, in the rivers they crossed, and in the stars they navigated by night. To honor them is to embrace a fuller, richer history, one that acknowledges pain and celebrates triumph, that confronts injustice and honors resilience. Their lives remind us that the American West was never a monochrome myth, but a vibrant tapestry woven by many hands, many dreams, many journeys. The black soldiers who built the American West stand as silent sentinels of a forgotten past. Their courage carved paths through wilderness and prejudice alike. In remembering them, we reclaim a history that belongs to all Americans, a history of struggle, endurance, and the relentless pursuit of freedom beneath the vast, unyielding sky. The frontier remains not just a place on the map, but a symbol of possibility, a testament to those who dared to ride into the unknown and reshape the promise of a nation. This has been Roots Renaissance. See you in the next chapter. The Civil War's end in 1865 marked a turning point for black Americans. As emancipation echoed through the land, thousands of formerly enslaved men sought new lives beyond the plantations. For some, the West promised a fresh start, open skies, open ranges, and a chance to redefine themselves away from the shadows of bondage. The U.S. Army, expanding its reach to secure Western territories, enlisted black soldiers into segregated units known as the Buffalo Soldiers. These men, brave, disciplined, and tenacious, became the vanguard of American expansion, stationed at remote forts from Texas to Montana. They patrolled treacherous trails, engaged in fierce battles with native tribes, defending their ancestral lands, and built the infrastructure that would anchor frontier settlements. The Buffalo Soldiers earned their name from the Native Americans they encountered, a testament to their fierce tenacity and spirit. These men faced two enemies, the hostile terrain and the prejudice within their own country. Despite segregation and discrimination, the Buffalo Soldiers distinguished themselves in combat and service. They built roads and telegraph lines, escorted settlers, and quelled conflicts that often threatened to unravel the fragile peace. Their legacy is etched into the very fabric of the West. Forts like Fort Leavenworth and Fort Robinson stand as silent monuments to their enduring presence. Yet, their stories remain largely untold, overshadowed by myth and selective memory. Beyond the army, black cowboys helped drive the cattle industry that powered the West's economy. Estimates suggest that 1 in 4 cowboys was black, men who mastered horsemanship, ranching, and the unforgiving demands of long cattle drive. These men rode the dusty trails from Texas to Kansas, braving storms, rustlers, and the threat of violence. Their skills and resilience challenged the stereotype of the white cowboy, revealing a more diverse and complex reality. They lived lives of grit and grace, forging communities and kinship in towns like Dodge, City, and Abilene. Their songs, stories, and traditions became part of the cultural tapestry of the frontier, though their faces rarely appeared on the silver screen. In the shadows of the open range, black soldiers served as scouts and guides, navigating the treacherous terrain with unmatched expertise. Their knowledge of the land and survival skills made them invaluable to military campaigns and settlers alike. Men like Sergeant William McBriar, who earned the Medal of Honor during the Indian Wars, embody the bravery and sacrifice of these frontier warriors. Their service was a double-edged sword, a fight for a country still grappling with its own contradictions and a personal quest for dignity and recognition. Each patrol, each battle fought, was a step toward claiming their rightful place in the American story. Yet, the West was not a land of equality. Black soldiers and cowboys confronted a society rife with racial violence and systemic oppression. Jim Crow laws took root even in Western towns, and lynchings threatened the fragile safety of black communities. Despite these dangers, black settlers established towns, churches, and schools, forging spaces of hope and resilience. Places like Nicodemus, Kansas, stand as testament to these pioneering spirits. Here, the dream of freedom was not just about land. It was about building a future where black Americans could thrive on their own terms, against the backdrop of a hostile frontier. The Buffalo Soldiers' role in the Indian Wars is complex and painful. Ordered to suppress Native resistance, these black soldiers became instruments of a policy that displaced indigenous peoples from their homelands. Many fought with honor and duty, yet their service also entangled them in the broader injustices of American expansionism. This duality reflects the tangled identities of black soldiers, both oppressed and enforcers of a system that marginalized others. Their history invites us to confront uncomfortable truths about power, survival, and the nuanced realities of frontier life. As the frontier closed by the late 19th century, black veterans leveraged their military experience to become community leaders, lawmen, and entrepreneurs. Some, like Bass Reeves, one of the first black deputy U.S. Marshals west of the Mississippi, became legends in their own right, enforcing the law in territories where justice was often elusive. Their presence challenged racial barriers and expanded the possibilities of black citizenship. These men and women laid the groundwork for future generations, carving out a legacy of courage and self-determination that resonates beyond the dusty trails. The cultural imprint of black cowboys and soldiers extends into music, literature, and art. Their ballads and tales sung around campfires under starlit skies carried the hopes and sorrows of their lives. These songs influenced country and blues traditions, weaving black voices into the heart of American cultural identity. Yet, for decades, popular media erased or distorted these contributions, favoring narrow narratives that excluded black experiences. Revisiting these stories today is an act of reclamation, a way to honor the richness and diversity of the West's true heritage.